Hey cuties, what's going on? We're here for another video slash premiere, okay? Depending on when you are watching this. But we are here for, you see my girls on the screen, for the Belle Collective Season 7, Episode 9, a cliffhanger. And yes, indeed, it definitely was. We are going to get into the Pearsons and the Rogers going on their double date. Latrice confronts Cliff about minimizing her work. Matt and Kerri, Kerri's mom, give Kerri some tough love. So that's what this episode is going to bring to us. So let me run my intro, and I got some good news to share with you, everybody. The cuties, okay? As I run my intro, y'all, like up the video. Make sure you are subscribed, okay? Make sure you are subscribed because I am growing my channel over here, and I just hit 600 subscribers. I thank y'all so much. I love y'all so much, cuties. And as I run this intro, y'all make sure y'all like up the video, okay? Thank you. Not even really a movie, but we're in the house Hey! Hey y'all, it's California Cutiee here. I want you guys to come join moment. So always. Hey. Hold on. Let me make sure I'm in the right spot. Hey, that's what I try to do. Hey, y'all. Hey, cuties. Thank y'all for joining me on this Good Friday, okay? It's Friday night. Hopefully, y'all watching it. Playback game, y'all know how to do. Y'all do what y'all got to do. Watch it when y'all need to. But I am videoing it taping it on a Friday, okay? So thank y'all for joining me. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you are comment in the comment section, no matter when you are watching it, because you can do that during the premiere, and you also can do it as you watch it on the playback underneath the video, depending on where you're watching it. If you're watching it on your phone, you can do that. If you're watching it on your TV, not so much. But that's okay. I also need you guys to hype up the video. You just go to the hype button, hit it, and boom, you added some points to me, okay? And so I need y'all to do that. But the extra good news that I came to bring you guys is, you see below that it says join the California Cutiee Click membership. So become a member of my channel. Please join me. Join me on my journey, okay? Because in the membership, the perks are, we're going to do members only, and I'll be doing a lot more content that I've been really wanting to get into, really about my life and some things, not literally, that's just all I'm really bringing to it, but sometimes things that I talk about coincide with some things that I saw or been a witness to. So, now I can say that on that side. So become a member so that you don't miss none of the good, you know. What my auntie say?
The tea is exceptionally good today.
You see what I'm saying? When it's the exceptionally good tea, it's gonna be on the membership. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, y'all. Let me make sure. Okay, everything is turned up. So please, again, join my membership. And there are 3 tiers starting from $199, and it goes up a couple more dollars and a couple more dollars. Okay. So join my membership, become part of the Cutiee Click. Okay. So all right. We got the real business out the way. Let me bring my girls up. Yes, there they are. And I love to do them and give them a nice applause because they deserve it. They doing their thing. They keeping me intrigued, keeping all of my attention. Okay. And especially because I have to review it. So now I have to watch it more than one time. Yeah, they're keeping it. They got it. So let me put my notes up, guys. All right, here we go. Yeah, you already know it is entitled A Cliffhanger. Now, I've been giving Cliff his props for the most part in this season. I'm like, I can understand him a bit more. You know, he's being a little bit more articulate. He's talking a little bit more. I'm gonna need him shut up now. I don't need you to hush it up. Be quiet. Okay? Hush it up. I'm just like, yeah, no, literally, just.
Shut the fuck up, okay?
Just poquito. Literally, okay? We'll get into it. Y'all gonna hear me. Y'all gonna hear me out, and then y'all can leave it a comment and let me know if y'all agree or disagree. That's all I'm saying. And it's Friday. Cheers. Oh, thank you again for my 600 subscribers, my subbies, my California cuties. Well, y'all my cuties from no matter where you from. But cheers to that. That's why I'm having a nice little sip of wine. So cheers to us, okay? That's to us. So anyway, Cliff planned a double date with Glenn and Letitia. He says food brings people together, so they're gonna do a cooking class, which is always good. I love a good old cooking class. I love it. I love it. I love it. So Latrice and Cliff arrive first. Glenn and Letitia are in the confessional. Letitia says she's happy that they are having a date night, regardless of who it's with. What? See, it's that attitude that I don't like that she's been coming with. It's like flip-floppy. I'm good that we're going on a date, but you know, even though we're going on a date with Wooty Wop, and I'm not saying she's not in her right to be, you know, having the feelings she has towards, you know, Latrice. But I'm saying if y'all all keep putting it on the table, why does it keep coming back up? Or why I keep getting the stink feel? I smell it. It stank. It's a little stank over there. Just a little bit. Just little tart. You know, like fresh fried onions, little tart over there. So I'm gonna need you to dial it on back. Just a little bit. Bring it on back a little bit. She says they're cautious. We're talking about Letitia. She says they're cautious. Talking about her and Glenn. But at the same time, she's optimistic. I was like, yeah, bring that dollar on back, Mookie. Because you ain't squeaky. You're not. So anyway, Glenn says, as long as we're not burning anybody with any hot grease, we should be fine. Thank you, Glenn. I agree. I ain't gonna lie. Thank you. So they are gonna cook an Italian dish, y'all. So I love it when they go to like a lesson or somewhere where they're teaching them how to cook, and it's not like something they would, usually have on the menu. Stuff that I usually cook. I'm so bored with my cooking. My husband's probably bored with he's bored with my cooking, y'all. Anyway. So this was pretty good. I was watching too. I was taking notes. Was y'all taking notes? I was taking notes. Yeah. I was taking notes. I ain't gonna bore y'all with the notes if y'all watched it. But anyway, Chef said, or should I say, Chef says they are gonna cook like some Italian grandmothers. I said, come on, give me the grandmother recipe. So anyway, they're going to make a brazzoli. They're making a brazzoli. So Letitia said she didn't really need no cooking lesson. I mean, she's good at cooking. Glenn seconded that. He said he married her for her cooking. And he said that with such gleam in his eye. I said, Glenn? You is like, I seen it. I was like, ooh, his eyes sparked up. And I'm not saying this, like, oh wow. That's just one of the things that he married her for. But I love that he just sparked up and how you can see it in his face. He really meant that. So anyway, Latrice and Cliff are in the confessional. Latrice says, Cliff loves my cooking. Latrice, are you okay? Latrice, are you okay? He be lying to you. She said, he can't get enough. I said, girl, of what? He can't get enough of what's on his plate? Yeah, I bet you never ask for seconds. I know. Because y'all remember, and production did show us, y'all remember that girl had cooked that man some expired food. Everything was expired but the meat she was cooking. And he came in tasting it and looking like, yeah, it's good. He still ate it. And he's still alive. And he's still alive. I gotta get that sound bite. Y'all know where I get that from? The Cosby Show. And I'm still alive, little Raven Simone. Anywho, Cliff says it was trial and error with Latrice's cooking, but she finally got there. Not. So the couple start making their brissole. I got to say it. He had to say brissole. It's brissole, but you brissole. They also make a creamy polenta. No, it's a creamy polenta. Glenn says this is not what comes out of the woman's body after the birth. Y'all know he was talking about the placenta. The placenta. He was talking about the placenta, right? But I'm not mad at him for really not knowing if that's what they was using, because y'all know the new. I'm an old mother. The new mommies, they eat they found a way to ingest that stuff, like putting it in pill form and dry it out and all kinds of barbecue it. And I think, see, this was happening. This is what happens when you celebrate that you got 600 subscribers and you can do members only with a members subscription. Yeah, I have no idea. I'm so excited, y'all. I'm so excited to get the real TT. Okay. Whew. They've been asking me for a long time. Y'all really don't know. Like the people that have been watching me for a long time, when my peoples, they know. They like, yeah, she got stories, and I do. Ain't what to tell y'all. Anywho, Glenn making that statement got everybody, a little bit more relaxed and comfortable. Everybody was like, looking at him like, Portia. So anyway, in the confessional, Letitia says she thinks that this is a start to, maybe getting back to on track, new beginnings and things. And I think Latrice said the same thing. So the couples discussed Tambra's event and how she opened up to the collective. In the last review, I reviewed that. If y'all didn't see that, go check me and So Deb out. Oh, shout out to So Deb. He wasn't feeling, he was a little under the weather, my brother. So he's been joining me on my, my reviews on the Belle Collective because he is such a Glenn fan. So yeah, shout out to So Deb, and make sure you guys are following my brother. Okay, so he'll probably join me again for sure before the ending of the season, and for sure for the reunions. I'm almost positive. Okay, so make sure you are following So Deb. That's SODEBNAIR. So Deb in air. Okay, that's it. All right. Latrice said that Tambra is really private. Although she knew most of those things. Letitia said she really didn't know that London Simone was only 5 pounds. And that's, last week they just said that she was in the NICU. I don't remember them saying she was 5 pounds. Could have said that. I don't remember though. Glenn said he can't stop seeing the picture of Tamara's fibroids. Letitia says to Latrice, didn't you have fibroids? Latrice tells them that they came back and she has to have another surgery. The surgery has her thinking that, and she's talking to them. She's saying, the surgery has me thinking, I definitely want to have a baby. So I definitely have to have the surgery. And so Letitia and Glenn, like Letitia was like, okay. And Glenn was looking like, okay. And so they seemed happy for her, I mean, genuinely. Cliff said, you waited too long. What? What, Cliff? What'd you say? Huh? Speak up. I didn't hear what. Did you say she waited too long? When I tell you, I was like, what? Cliff. I have to remember that men have feelings. They really do. They have feelings, and sometimes us women overlook that because we're the one that they always put the emotions on and all this stuff, correct? So when they show their emotional side, so they're saying this is their emotional side, I'm saying. And to them, sorry, I have a alarm going off. and you literally are saying to them, because Cliff wanted to have a baby, and Latrice didn't at the time, and now the roles have flipped. So I was kind of like, really, Cliff? What you mean she waited too long? Okay, remembering he has feelings. Okay, he's a whole person. He has feelings, and his feelings are valid. I ain't gonna tear Cliff all the way up. Okay, but anyway, he says, I wanted a baby about 2-3 years ago. I said, it's not 2-3 years ago, but he did. The fibroids really changed Latrice's perspective. Latrice expresses how she wants to have a baby because not only for the unconditional love, but the support that comes from a mother and a child's bond. You know what I'm saying? I have 5 children, 3 grandchildren, and I have a different bond with every last one of them. And yes, I understand exactly what she's saying. I don't think any of my children would let me just suffer at any moment in time. Leave me in the hospital for a little bit. They're gonna do that. They gonna do that. I mean, if it's detrimental, but hey. I'm just saying, you just never know. Anyway, Latrice is feeling that Latrice is feeling that way because Cliff left her in the hospital on her, what she said, her D bed when she had surgery on. And on top of that, it was their anniversary and her birthday. So they got married on her birthday, I guess. I bet you won't forget your anniversary if you get married on her birthday. And you bet not forget her birthday. She made it really simple for you. Anyway, so yeah, it was her anniversary and all that, and her birthday. Cliff said she was not on her D bed. He said he talked to the doctors. Everything went well. In the confessional, Latrice says Cliff leaving her in the hospital told her all she needed to know because her child would never do that. Little Cliffarella. Cliff said, you name it Cliffarella, it will leave. It will leave you. Cliffarella, y'all. That was I can't even talk because I did mix my name and my kid's father name together to get my oldest child's name. So can't even be mad, but it's not Clifforella. Latrice, you bet not. Anyway, Cliff told Latrice, my notes didn't. Oh yeah, no, my bad. He just repeated it. Okay. Cliff told Latrice, you waited too long. I'm older now. Latrice says, I know. She said, I don't give a darn. You was older then. And clock the T. Yes, boo. You was older then. You was a grandfather then. You're a grandfather now. Yes, you. Oh man. So she was like, so what's the difference? Cliff says, the difference is I don't want to be up with the baby all night. I ain't mad at that. I'm not mad at that. Let me be clear. I'm not mad at that. The nights I had to be up with my kids. Especially when I was nursing them. Yikes. Anyway, Latrice says the difference is hire a nanny. I said, you better tell them because y'all can afford it. Letitia told Latrice she is happy for her. Latrice says, thank you. And Cliff was quick to respond, we ain't having no baby. They all laughed like I'm doing. I was like, yeah. So Letitia says, y'all not going to stop doing what y'all do to get a baby. Cliff said, yes, there's something I can do. Glenn gestured. I was like, not the snip. Not that good old snippity snip, snippity ooh ooh ah. Mm-hmm. Now let me know. Isn't that equivalent? So what if Cliff snips himself and don't tell Latrice? Wouldn't that be equivalent to her tying her tubes and not telling him and he wanted the baby? That let me know in the comments. I'm just saying. That's kind of, yeah, that's janky. That's jankiness right there. I didn't like the way they did that. Reminded me of Marceau and Maurice. Yeah, it did. Because I think they didn't snip too. And they just be way too happy to talk about it. Letitia was like, no. Cliff says, a man, peep this to y'all. Watch this. Cliff said, a man changed quickly. We want it when we want it. Now. I said, what is this? Is this the 1-800 call 877 cash now? Is that the commercial? Head ass. What is wrong with you? A man wanted and he wanted when he wanted. Now. Huh? Boy, you better get away from me. You get away from me, Cliff. Go on somewhere. Go away from me, Cliff. With that. Hit the like button. I hope you guys are having a good time. Cliff says you have to move quickly when they want it. Because if you don't, and I'm going to tell y'all why I'm pausing when Cliff talks, because when Cliff talks, it doesn't sound like this. It's all run-on sentences. There's no periods, no exclamation points. It's just so I literally have to break it down so it makes sense in what he's saying, okay? I don't think I'm slow. Ain't nothing wrong with being slow. I'm just not it. So anyway, Cliff says you have to move quickly when they want it. Because if you don't, they'll think you don't. And then when you do want it, they don't want it no more. You feel me? Glenn said in Letitia's ear, did you hear that? Letitia said, that don't make no sense. Glenn said, no, it made sense to him. It makes sense to me. I said, boy, you can really tell how women and men think differently. when you see other married couples going through things and you just be like, whoa, this happens in my relationship, and it, just with just them talking to one another, you just be like, that happens. It's not the same dialogue, but you can clearly see the difference in opinions, and it's just be like, wow, things that make you go, Glenn said it made sense to him, right? So in the confessional, Glenn said, folk ain't out here trying to have no babies. He said, I might buy a dog though. And I might buy you a dog or something. I don't want your dog. Don't bring me no puppies. That takes you have to train the dog and all that. Then don't bring me no dog. Don't do that. Latrice asks, how are you and Glenn doing? Oh no, she says, how are you and Glendale doing? It's so funny because I love her accent. And when she says his name, well, anybody says his name, they say it like two names. Now I don't know if Glendale spells his name with a hyphenation, like Glenn and Dale, or is it Glendale together? I don't know, but she always says Glendale, and I like it. Anyway, I'll make sure my computer is not doing the thing because I need it not to start glitching. Hit that like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. Okay. Latrice asks Letitia, how are you and Glendale doing? Glenn says, oh, I did skip the part. They made the food. And I'm sorry, did I even tell y'all that I think my thing skipped or something, but it wasn't the placenta was a grits, and the other thing was like a rolled up meat with some sauce. And, it looked so delish. And so they rolled up the meat and they had to tie the meat up. It looked like salami almost, but they had to roll it up. So anyway, the reason why I'm telling y'all that because I don't remember saying that, but it is attached to what I'm about to say. Glenn says her rolling that meat was the first time she touched some meat in a long time. I was like, damn. Teacher said, there's a reason. She says, because when we removed that, meaning sex, she says it helped with clarity. It helped her to see what is good for her in this moment. Cliff says, what about your husband? Y'all won. Latrice asked Glenn, they're one, but they have two separate brains. You don't move in the same body, bruh. That is like a metaphor. Latrice asked Glenn, how do you feel about it? He said he's not gonna lie. It did open another realm of intimacy. I like that. I like that he said that. I am so glad So Debonair is not on right now because he would be eating this part up. That's my man. He would be, oh gosh. Whew. Thank you for small favors, Lord. Thank you. I'm just playing, Deb. You know I love you. But I love that he says that he found another way for intimacy. And so I'm glad he didn't have to go into detail because I don't want to know all that part because that's the part of being intimate is the part that is between the two of you, and whatever that looks like for the two of y'all is what it is. But let's be clear, Glendale did say he'd rather be intimate with Letitia. He would rather be intimate with his wife. So in the confessional, Glenn said, it's a little embarrassing to be talking to another married couple about a lack of sex in the marriage. Oh, I'm sorry you used the word. I'm sorry. I meant smex. Shout out to, what's my baby name? Oh my gosh, she looks like an adult, my granddaughter. Oh my gosh, I can't. I tried to tell my heart now. Tisa Tails. It came there like the face came right to me. My granddaughter looks like a miniature Tisa Tells. She's so cute. I love Tisa. And I love my granddaughter, of course, but yes, I love it. Anyway, a lack of the S word in their marriage. It's embarrassing for Glenn to, express that in front of them. Glenn says he gets his clarity in the bedroom. I said, don't y'all all. Don't y'all all. Anyway, they all agree that it was a nice time. The dinner turned out well. Latrice and Letitia are really getting to understand the validity of their presence in the collective. Glenn said, yeah, their relationship is important to the collective and to the people. Cliff said, when the wives fight, the other Bells will start copying. Letitia says, like Kerri. I said, ain't that your friend? Shout out to TLC. What about your friends? Ain't that your friend? Okay. Got you. I got it. Letitia says, like Kerri. Latrice brought up the one night that Kerri came over to Taste to talk to her and how Latrice really checked her about, she didn't use the word check, those are my words. She checked her about throwing Cliff under the bus about Babygate. Latrice says she told Kerri she would not allow her to lie, basically on her man or on anybody. Letitia says to Cliff, so you didn't tell Matt. Cliff said, I did tell Matt that. Boo boo, boop 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 boop. You thought he was gonna say, okay, somebody lied. Nope. Cliff's like, no, I told him. I was the one that said that to him. So Cliff said he was just giving him an update about what was going on. Cliff says he told Matt. But don't tell him it was me. Put it on a bell because gossiping is for the bells, not for the men. I said, Not only were you gossiping, now you want them to lie for you. Gotcha. Sound like men behavior. Sounds like human behavior. Always trying to put it on a woman. Messy old gossiping Cliff. So Latrice said Cliff told Matt before he told Latrice. And you talking about we are one? What, did we supposed to hear the same thing at the same time? That ain't how that worked, bruh. Because guess what? Now what you're doing? You ain't pillow talking. Gossiping. Big gossiper. So in the confessional, Cliff says he don't envy Mike. This is what Cliff said about Mike. He don't envy him. He said the Bells will make a mountain out of a molehill. A molehill. He says the women are like the Bells. This is when he started mumble jumbling. This is when this mumble jumble like this. I gotta sound like that one. That was Last Dragon. It's mumble jumble like this. So anyway, he says the women are like the Bells. They would do anything to cause chaos. So the women are like the Bells, and we cause chaos. Okay. Hey, that's your truth, and you're living in it. Gossiper. That's better, huh, y'all? Okay, I'm sorry. I felt like I was gonna die. I forgot the sun just went down. Anyway, he said next time, check this out what Cliff says. Hold on, I think I gotta. Excuse me. A wine burp. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Pee Wee Herman. Sorry, y'all. I literally, it's crazy. All the stuff that I want a soundbite, it was never coming to me when I wanted to do it, and now it's all coming to me. So funny. Anyway, Cliff says, he said next time he would just keep it to himself. I said, yes, that's what a non-gossiper does. I'm just saying. So they all said they enjoyed themselves again. Latrice said, "You might get you." Latrice says to Glenn, "You might get you some tonight, Glendale." I was like, "Now why would you? What? Now why would you want to go do that when Letitia just told you she is doing that for clarity? Whose side are you on, Latrice? Like for real." But anyway, they look around and they realize that they're still standing with the chef. And so they was like, "Oh, oh, thank you." I was like, "Yeah, y'all still over here with the chef and y'all acting like y'all not on TV." Okay, gotcha. But they thank the chef for the cooking lessons and all that good stuff. So now we get Kerri and her mom. Oh no, sorry. We got Kerri mom popping in at Kerri's restaurant. Kerri is trying to sell her Mobile restaurant still, so she, don't have a total loss. Kerri really does not want to have a 6-figure deficit conversation with her mom. Yikes. Wow. But she said it's time. But it's time for Kerri to put on her big girl panties and do what she needs to do, because at this point she's suffocating. She's suffocating the longer she keeps the restaurant. Thank goodness she has the other 2 restaurants, that are in Mississippi as well, but not in Mobile. They're thriving. So, thank goodness she has that. And also, she's a content creator as well. I'm sorry, she's an influencer, not content. Well, same, she's an influencer. She uses a lot of her influencer money. She's been using a lot of her influencer money to try to save the Mobile restaurant and keep it up and running. Kerri did say that she had a potential buyer, but she thinks that the buyer needed a loan that he wasn't able to get. So it is back on the market. And the longer that it stays on the market with no potential buyer, the restaurant will, pretty much hemorrhage Kerri's pockets. Like, yeah, it's gonna pat her pockets for sure. Matt and Kerri's mom want to know how long Kerri needs to wait before she decides to pull out and just close the restaurant and cut the losses. They tell her she needs to make up her mind what she's gonna do, because flip-flopping is not gonna help her, especially when she's drowning. So what is the next step? Is what her mom asked her. Kerri's problem is she doesn't want to be left with a bill, but what's the difference to me? What's the difference in being left with a bill if you like really are paying a bottomless pit? Like, it's that, yeah, no. Don't do that, Kerri. But she also says she has 20 people that, work for her, and that's weighing on her as well. Matt said, with all due respect for everyone that works there, businesses come and go, and businesses come and go every day. So the longer the doors are open, the longer the debt is gonna pile up. Matt said he doesn't want anything to affect the kids. Kerri says she is doing this for the kids with tears in her eyes. Matt tells Kerri that she has the luxury of basically teeter-tottering because she doesn't have to worry about the bills and the mortgage at home, because Matt take care of that. And literally, Kerri's mom was like, right, like you have a great life. And Kerri knows it. She doesn't take Matt for granted. And I love that. You can tell their relationship, they have a lot of respect for each other, and I love that. Kerri said, yeah, but all the reserve money that I stack up that she brings to the table, she said, it's not stacking no more. Matt feels like Kerri is being a little selfish. So that's how they ended that. All right, let me take one little piece of a break, just a piece of one, okay, y'all? Make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, joining the membership. Join. How you do that? hit the join button. Become a member of the California Cutiee Clique. Okay, let's go. Like up the like it up, like it up. All right. I hope you guys are having a good time. I am. With this wine on a Friday night, yeah, I'm having a really nice time. Okay. Let me get back to my notes. Yes. Like I said, become a member. It says right here. Join the California Cutiee. Well, don't say California. It says join the Cutiee Clique membership. And please do so. I appreciate y'all so much. Like literally. It's a long time coming, y'all. It's a long time coming. I'm just excited to give it to y'all. Anywho, we head over to the Rogers house. That's Latrice and Cliff. And they're gonna do a little bit of couples experimenting. Okay. So Latrice finds, on TikTok, she finds on TikTok little experiments and things, couple experiments that she wants to do with Cliff. Latrice feels like Cliff plays too much. He doesn't take anything, he doesn't take things serious. When she's taking things serious, he's like the total opposite. With her having her surgery around the corner, she's kind of she want to pick his brain about how he is going to continue keeping up with Taste while she is down for 4 to 6 weeks. Latrice does all the work at Taste, and Cliff is pretty oblivious to what all she does. That's another reason why she wants to talk with him. I hate that for her. I do. I hate that for her. She feels like Taste will not make it if Cliff don't get on the same page. If he doesn't get on the same page as her with how she runs the business. Latrice says TikTok is like the new Google. She uses it from food ideas to relationship stuff. Latrice begins the experiment with Cliff. They get in front of each other. She gets 2 chairs. They sit in front of each other. I thought that was nice that they did that. I do like that Cliff was open to that because most men like to push back. So like she started the experiment. Cliff, she tells Cliff, I want you to be serious and not joke around. Latrice asked Cliff, what did he think about her going into surgery? He said it's a good idea, especially now that he has a better understanding of it. And especially seeing what happened with Tambra, it was really graphic. So Latrice knows that when she has the surgery, she has to put in place everything that goes on inside the business. I'm talking about Taste. She's going to be down 4 to 6 weeks, whatever. It could be 4 to 8 weeks. It could be a month to 2 months, So Cliff said, well, you're mostly on the computer, so you should be able to manage your part of the business. When? 2 months from now? When I'm able to get up and go to the business? Cliff, are you okay? Literally, this is why they call it a cliffhanger, because Cliff, you hanging on like a thread, bro. What is going on? Latrice told him, you don't comprehend the extent of everything I do. Cliff keeps reducing what Latrice does to doing it on her laptop. He feels like she is not operating any equipment. She's not the chef. She's not the server. She's not the host. Cliff tells her, you push buttons, so what's the big deal? Cliff says he's ran 6 to 7 different businesses before, so things will get done if Latrice can't go, if she can't go get them done. Again, you're going to only step in if Latrice can't do it. And now you're going to put the pressure on her to do it. Got it. Cliff does feel that her health is more important. I think, the businesses will be there. They will. They will be there. They will be there, hopefully. Now with the close sign under construction with the lie. I'm just saying. So anyway, Latrice says she does the social media, she does payroll, she handles the employees, she handles everything with the city. She also handles everything with their lawyer. Cliff said, well, guess what I did? Cliff said, guess what I did? I physically constructed and oversaw everything when it came to taste. That you did, Cliff. Cliff, hey, you did that. You did that. Latrice had to tell him, the building is there. It's been there. Now we have to work and make the business make the money. This is, well, when he was doing his part, he didn't complain that she wasn't doing her part.
What you talking about, Willis?
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. What in the entire is this man talking about? I'm gonna really need Cliff to go buy a clue. I am. Go on Wheel of Fortune, spin it, and tell him you want to buy a clue. Anyway, he says, when you were doing your part, I'm sorry. Yeah, when Cliff was doing his part, there was no business to run yet other than, Latrice on her goddess lens, right? Latrice says she wants Cliff to be around her more at Taste. Latrice is feeling this way because Cliff left her during the surgery on, I told y'all, said birthday and said anniversary. Cliff said, you want to know why I left on that day? It's like, okay. He said, Latrice, you told me to go check on the restaurant. Latrice said, but I saw you drinking on the camera. You was drinking on the camera. Cliff said he said he did what Latrice told him to do. I said, oh, if that ain't boy, I'm not even gonna say it. It's just, oh, yikes. Latrice said you went up there and got drunk and stayed there. He said, she said you didn't even come back to the hospital. Cliff said, I did. I came back after Taste closed. Latrice said one thing she not gonna do. Oh, because he was like, why you just didn't call me? She was like, one thing she not gonna do is ever stop a man from doing what he wanna do, because he's gonna do what he wanna do anyway. I said, yeah, you're right. That's pretty. Yeah, that's pretty on point. Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. So Latrice said he could have went and got her some flowers or a little gift. He could have brought her a little dinner. It could have been anything. He could have brought it to the hospital. They could have had a candlelit dinner over her bed. She would have loved that. But sometimes men just miss the mark because they're like, oh, well, she's in a hospital, so, she's okay. Everybody, there's nurses and there's doctors, and they're seeing all their other patients. And so I'm just another patient. So I would like to have company, and talk and make my time go by. That's all we want. Yeah, that's what all Latrice is really trying to tell him, but she hasn't even got that far. So maybe with the next experiment, maybe they'll get that far. She said, you did nothing but went to Taste and got drunk, and that's one thing she will not forgive him for. Cliff said, you forgave me. Latrice said, no, it happened and life goes on. She said, and life still is going on. Cliff says he's sorry she felt that way. Latrice had to remind him how she has abandoned issues. Her brothers, are in heaven, and then her dad uh wasn't there for her. She's never been put in a position where she was hospitalized and have to have surgery and felt, and also felt alone. Cliff said he was with her the whole time. Latrice says she doesn't ask him for a whole lot. I'm sorry. Latrice says she doesn't ask a whole lot from Cliff, and she really don't ask anything from him. But it was a big deal to her. Cliff said she could have called him. Latrice said she would never do that. Cliff said, that's your problem. You fighting with yourself, not fighting with me.
Shut the fuck up, okay?
I'm going to need for Cliff to shut up. I'm going to need him to be quiet. Cliff said he cannot look at, he said, I can't look into no crystal ball and see what Latrice is thinking. No, I don't think you need to do that. You can kind of ask her, and she's kind of telling you. You don't even need a crystal ball. She's literally talking to you and telling you exactly what she wants, what exactly made her mad, and you are still acting like she doesn't have the right to say or feel the way she feels because she feels like you haven't acknowledged it. Cliff just felt like she's nagging and keeps saying it the same thing over and over again. Latrice feels some type of way, and she's going to let him know until it sinks into his head, because if she doesn't, ding, 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 it will happen again. Cliff looks into the camera and says in the confessional, men of America, we ain't gonna win. We damned if we do, and if we don't. I said, okay, child. All right. So they end up holding hands and telling each other how they show up and how they show love for each other. Cliff said they've been through some ups and some downs, and they got married for better or for worse. They've been through some better, and they've also been through some worse times. Latrice thinks this experiment went well. When they do another one, she says that it will be even better because she feels like Cliff is more prepared and prepped for, he knows now what to expect. Don't hold your hopes up too high. Okay. Cliff said, yeah, whatever I would. He said, oh yeah, he was in the confession. He says, yeah, whatever I would have done, I'm just gonna do the opposite. I said, yeah, you're gonna get in trouble every time. You don't get it. You can't. It's not what you're doing and then do the opposite. It's like just use your brain, or like you said, y'all won, correct? You said this. So if you were thinking, let's put yourself in Latrice's shoes. What will Latrice do in this moment? Maybe I should call her so that I can actually know what she would do. That's all. And that's when he was like, yeah, maybe that'll work. You don't know, y'all. You don't get it. Latrice has her Portia moment and said, well, opposites always attract. And of course, Cliff looks at her like, he had to roll his eye. He had to hit her with a roll eye. He had to hit her with a, because remember, she just had said something about, the pick of the litter. Did she not just say the pick of the litter? And how she thought that was litter. Latrice said the next woman, Latrice gets up, she's like, yeah, the next woman, you better not leave her in the hospital on her D bed, and slaps him on his chest. Cliff says he appreciate her for looking out for him on the next woman. I was like, y'all are a mess. Selena meets up with Tambra to tell She meets up with Tambra to show off her new teeth, and they look very natural. Selena shares with Tambra that she had a great time in Colombia, but she also had a couple of hiccups. And, she had a few scares, to be honest. Selena suffers from high blood pressure and she doesn't take medication for it. They give her medication she doesn't take for it. So, she says when she went to Colombia to get her teeth done, her blood pressure was elevated from the anesthesia. What would have took one day, she had to break up in 2 days. So the first day her blood pressure was so high, they thought she could have had a heart attack. That's why they stopped the procedure and made her wait another day to complete it. But all in all, she loves them. Tamara was like, yeah, that was very scary. That was a lot to go through for some new teeth, but hey, she made it through. She's good. Tamara shares with Selena that she missed out on her Sip and See event. She had the event at the museum. We all saw that last week. And if you haven't, check out my review with So Debonair. It was really cool. So the ladies can get to know Tamara better. She tells her that Linda Simone was the grand finale and all the ladies got to meet her. Selena asks, how did the ladies react to the event? Tamara says they now know more about her than she knows about them. In the confessional, Tamara says if they want transparency, everybody needs to show. Everybody needs to be showing transparency, not just her. Everybody. Tamara said the Bells had a talk afterwards. They talked about moving forward. They talked about rumors. I was saying that Tamara was telling Selena that, what the Bills were talking about. They talked about there's always there's always people on the outside that are bringing the rumors to them. Letitia's guard dog Shantae. Yeah, I just like doing that. Anyway, she literally doesn't, like Tamara was like, she literally doesn't know that girl. That was her first time ever sitting down with her, and you're gonna bring me some mess? Because remember, Shantae was the one that brought the attention that Tamara was supposed to be dating the Mr. Juice Cleanse man. Child, please. Tamara is trying to understand how Tamara is trying to understand how they are to move forward if they're listening to all these different rumors. And Tamara's like, who continues to bring rumors to their friends? Tamara is like, it's just, a lot of outside noise. Tamara told Selena she ain't heard so many rumors about herself until she joined this friend group in her entire life. Cliff invites the fellas over since Glenn and him can hang out again. Oh, they can play in the sandbox. Oh, so cute. They met at Cliff's man cave that looks like it's under construction, conjunction with your function. The hell's going on? So we get Matt arriving, and he came through the blue tarp. Y'all heard me. They was about to shoot some pool. It looked all cool in the inside, but he came through a tarp. A tarp. That surrounded the man cave. It surrounded the man cave. I was like, oh Lord Jesus. Cliff told Matt he's about to close it in the future. So in the confessional, Matt said he wasn't necessarily expecting to be in the cold, under the tarp tent, Matt was at least thinking there would be, some walls with some heat. He said that would have been nice, especially because it's freezing. And when I say it's freezing, there's literally frost coming out of Matt's mouth. And he got on this little bitty, teeny, tiny jacket. Well, why would you leave with that little jacket on? You know it's cold. I know you running from the car to the... Man, you can't do that. That's how you get sick, bro. And you had your bald head out. No, nothing, bro. He was feeling all that. Matt said he know it's probably some coyotes, bears, and what else? What else? The hell he knows out there. He don't even know. He's like, I don't want to find out. We ain't not in a wall. We inside of a tarp. I hope he was joking when he was saying it was coyotes and bears, because I don't think he was, because it's probably really a lot of trees and stuff. There's coyotes where I live, but I live in the high desert though. Anyway, Glenn walks in with his backpack, and that backpack had a pack of diapers in it, and it looked like a bunny rabbit, and it looked like a Hallmark bunny rabbit. I used to work at Hallmark, y'all. Good quality stuff there. It's good quality stuff. Let's be clear. Mike said, you bought that for me, and they all started laughing. Mike said he needs some liquor for that bag. Mike said if that was real, he'd be crying just like you was, boy. Talk about Glenn. Sorry. Oh, I didn't mess my mic up. Oh my gosh. Like, yeah, just like you was, boy. Glenn was like, hold on. Mike had to, reiterate, yeah, I'll be crying just like you was on that reunion when Letitia asked you if you had that baby. Mm-hmm. Glenn said it was just a joke. Mike said, yeah, I'm joking too. And they both start smiling. Mike said, he, ha, ha. Yeah, joking. It's jokes, but boy, don't do that. Don't go too far. Anyway, Glenn was really trying to lighten this situation because it could be really heavy. Glenn said he's just happy to be hanging with the fellas without the bells, even though it would have been a little bit warmer if they were there. I said, trust me, them ladies wouldn't have been out there, brother. They would have saw, are we going? Oh yeah, I'm gonna drop you off and you can Uber back, or I'm not. Who's going to be outside in the cold air? Yeah, no, not me. Not I, said the cat. So anyway, Glenn asked how was Selena doing. Mike said she was doing good. She just feels like one person brought it, baby gate back up, back to everybody. Mike points at Cliff and says, I talked to you about it. Mike said the other part of him Mike said the other part of him feels like Cliff did it. Cliff said, I never slept with anybody. I ain't sleep with nobody. Glenn said, Glenn had to tell him, no, Mike thinks you did it. Cliff says, everybody want to blame me for all their problems. Cliff said that he told Mike there was a rumor out there when they talked. Mike said, and who else did you tell? He said, who else did you tell that to? Cliff said, nobody else. While he's doing his chalking up his pool stick. Nobody else but my wife. So even Glenn, it was like, oh man, that's what I'm tired. All right. They walk off and they just like, oh, okay. So that's how it got back to the bells. Mike feels like he didn't crack the code. He in the confessional. Cliff says some men, in the confessional, Cliff says some men gossip more than others. Some people just like to tell, a story and like to entertain. And if you are a person that likes to entertain people, while telling, stories, you're gonna do a lot of gossiping, and that's the way he looks right now to me. Maybe he didn't. I don't think he was trying to entertain. I think he just brought it to Matt, and then when he brought it to Latrice, and maybe Latrice put a little on it, and then and then he told Matt, and then it went back, and then Latrice and Kerri both knew, and it was like they probably got together like, girl, did you hear? And not like in a bad way, because I don't want y'all to take it like that, but like you was like, girl, I heard it, girl, and it was like that. That's how I think that happened. Anyway, Glenn is in the confessional saying men don't gossip unless you at the barbershop. I said, well, they get their hair cut 4 times a month. I'm a stylist. I used to work at the shop for years. You hear me? I've been in my business for 30 years. I've been out the shop. My son is 16. I've been out the shop 15 years. I'm a mobile stylist. Like literally. It's crazy. And so, man, gossip so tough. Be in everybody's business, know everything, who they client is sleeping with, who their client wife is, who not to what man, get out my face. It ain't just the ladies. Trust and believe that. Y'all seen Barbershop the movies? Knock it off. Cliff asks, how did everything go with Selena in Colombia getting her teeth done? Mike tells them that Selena did not understand when they asked her, did she have any diseases? She thought they were asking about high blood pressure and things of that nature. Selena thought they might have been talking about cancer and like HIV, those types of diseases. So he told the fellas that her blood pressure went up and it took her 2 days to get it done. He said he was a little afraid for her because she almost came back to the States looking like an alligator. And I fell out because that pretty face, oh my God, and they got to chisel your teeth down to nothing. That's some love. You see the teeth chiseled down? I would have had a mask on. I would have came through with the mask. Yeah, baby. I'm going back tomorrow. I'm not. Yeah. You can't see these alligator teeth. You can't see the alligator teeth. Is she crazy? So anyway, yeah, my computer is counting down. Anyway, in the confessional, Mike said that he was kind of scared for Selena because they wasn't going to be able to finish it, with her blood pressure being so high. So it really scared him, especially when, you're somewhere else and there's a language barrier. If something would have happened, to her just because she wanted her teeth done, it wouldn't have really been worth it. He don't know what he would have came back and had to tell her kids and grandkids and family members. Child, ooh, no. Thank you, Lord. Cliff tells the fellas that he got his wife and Glenn and his wife. He got his wife and Glenn and his wife together for a date night. It was to get them together. They have differences. Now, again, Cliff mumbo jumboed all of this. I had to break it down so it made sense on here. Okay, so it's gonna make sense to y'all, but this is not when he said it. It didn't kind of make sense. Cliff told Latrice, y'all like poisoning each other, and that destroyed his wife until she makes up with Glenn's wife, and now they're destroying Cliff because his wife is coming at him. Cliff said he likes to have his life good. Mike said after the breakdown I just gave y'all, which was so y'all can understand, after Mike heard him say that, Mike says, sometimes you got to shed tears on a lie. What? So I was just like, he didn't understand a word that was coming out of his mouth. Not a word that was coming out of that man's mouth. It was hilarious. So in the confessional, Matt says he said, now that right there needed subtitles. And the one I watched, it did have subtitles. So anyway, they switch over to Glenn, saying if they would have been at his house, it would have been a different story. They're pertaining that to when they had game night at Latrice and Cliff's house. Oh, we back to that again. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's crack our hands. Let's do it. Glenn was put on blast by Amanda, and Cliff didn't say anything. Mike said he would have been like, hold up. I said, Mike, people always say what they could have, would have, should have. If was a fifth, I'm not drunk, but we all be drunk. What are you talking about? I can't. It's like that's instigating to me, but whatever. Okay. Glenn asked Cliff, do you really think I would F with that girl? Cliff says, I don't know what happened. She felt like you was effing with her. Glenn said, that would be her problem that she thought that. That sounds like an Amanda problem. That doesn't sound like a Glenn problem. Matt said, everyone flirts. His wife is a real big flirt, but when men do it, it's a bigger deal. Glenn says, everybody knows my personality. Lord, thank gosh, again, that so Debonair is not here because Lord. Glenn says, everybody knows his personality. He's always smiling. He's being cool and cordial. Cliff said, I told you to quit smiling at them. I said, no, you did tell him to quit smiling at them. Why? Are you jelly? You want them for yourself? Glenn said, you want me to walk around looking mad all the time? Cliff said, for the sake of your marriage, yes. Now I can't be mad at none of that part. Like when I say the other part, I just being funny, like literally, because you know how they have bromances. That's what I mean. Like, okay, don't get your panties in a bunch in my comments. Make sure you join the membership. Glenn said, so just walk around mean mugging. Cliff said, yep, just like that. I was like, right? Glenn said, I guess I'm gonna use the alligator smile. I said, no, not the alligator smile, child. And then they did do a graphic with they did a graphic on Selena and they did a graphic on Glenn with the alligator teeth. Cool. Oh, I say teeth. Like my New Orleans baby say that would be Bondi, Miss Bondi Blue, and my baby, my baby, no Latrice. Oh my God, the teeth. Okay. Cliff says Glenn needs to change his ways if he wants to keep his wife happy. He's never going to own up to anything that happens. It's always going to be somebody else's fault, and that's his problem. That's what Cliff said about his boy. Glenn says, we should plan a guy's trip to Colombia. Cliff says, bachelor party. Glenn started chanting, taking Colombia, taking Colombia. Taking Colombia. I said, you ain't taking nothing. You better take your ass and go sit down in the corner somewhere, Glenn. That's what keeps getting you in trouble, brother. This is why your wife is over there. Celibate. So, last scene, guys. I know I was a little long-winded, but I'm having a great time. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe, and you better make sure you are joined to my membership. I'm telling y'all, it's gonna go down, down, down in the membership, down, down, down in the membership. Okay. Anyway, last scene, we get my girl Stormy Steele, the mogul. Oh, hey, no, that maybe need a. She need definitely get the applause. Deserving, so very deserving. So we get my girl Stormy Steele. They used to be on Love It Marriage Huntsville. A lot of people didn't watch, and if you did, you know who we are speaking of. But now, Stormy, I'll tell you at the end, but let's get back to Stormy still is stepping in the building. The building, just okay. That's what she doing. She over there stepping into Taste to go hang out with Latrice. Stormy looks so good. She looks like new money, baby. Okay, for real. I love me some Stormy. Latrice and Stormy have been friends for over 12 years. Stormy was a stylist. Latrice sewed hair. So they linked up and they've been friends ever since. Stormy and Latrice both have humble beginnings. Stormy helped Latrice when no one else would. Latrice supported Stormy when she was doing hair, and Stormy supported Latrice while she sewed hair. Together, it made great sense. Stormy is a very successful woman. She has broken records on TikTok. She's the #1 seller on TikTok for the United States and the UK. For her to be from Mississippi and to break all those records is unheard of. Literally. Like, literally. Take that in. That's why I gave her applause, y'all. And then, yeah, so breaking all those barriers, you can only admire that, right? Stormy went to go check out her mom. You know, I guess she lives closer to in Latrice in them area. Um, and so she went to go stop by her mom, and then she, took a, stop by to go check on Latrice at Taste. Latrice asked how Stormy mom is doing. Stormy says her mom is doing well. We've seen Stormy mom. You watch Love and Marriage Huntsville. We've seen Stormy mom. Her mom is a whippersnapper. Very big. She's a whippersnapper. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Stormy's the only child too. Yeah, whippersnapper. Mm-hmm. No ball about her. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So anyway, Stormy says she is doing well, especially because she is getting her house built from the ground up, thanks to Stormy. Latrice told her that that construction gonna be hell. She said their condos on top of Taste are all completed, but she's getting pushback from the city because they want to rent them out as Airbnbs, and the city is trying to label Taste as a nuisance to the neighborhood. Latrice says when they're open, they get like 20 to 30 calls from the police a night. Latrice says she looks at other establishments like hers that play music for their clients and customers, not clients, their customers, and she doesn't see any issues. Stormy whispered. Latrice says yes. Latrice thinks that the racism is rearing its ugly head when it comes to her being able to get her permits to rent out her condos. She says the clear people, don't understand our culture or our music. So everything is so taboo to them. Stormy says she gets that she says, I get that we in the South, but you know, not to be far past the racism is crazy. And I'm like, you are absolutely correct, child. So Stormy said, even for her being, the first, not only Black woman, but the first person, period, to have $1 million live stream in the United States. She said you would think she would have been that would have been celebrated, not her, but that would have been celebrated more. But she's learned early on that she was not supposed to be the face of, meaning she wasn't supposed to be the face, meaning her skin complexion. I ain't dark enough to do that. I ain't dark enough yet. Wait till the summertime. Y'all know what I mean. Oh, but yes, my mama Black, and my dad is Latino. Just need to let y'all know, biracial, but still color. I'm not clear. Okay. Stormy tells Latrice, don't let, oh, but I love my clear people though. I love some of y'all. Some of y'all, okay. Okay. I just want to throw that out there. Stormy tells Latrice, don't let nothing stop her and take up all the space she needs to elevate. Latrice shares with Stormy that her fibroid came back again, so she has to have surgery again, and she is freaking nervous about the surgery. She feels like her husband is still oblivious to how to run the business, and if she goes into surgery, she has to, spend 6 to 7 weeks recovering, and she doesn't want everything to turn into a show. Thinks she thinks she is going to cancel the surgery. Stormy said, "Is that something you can just put off like that?" Latrice said her doctors are saying that she needs to get the surgery, but she knows it's not gonna, unalive her. Stormy says, "Well, you cannot put that off." Latrice says when she had the fibroid surgery the first time, it was really, really painful. Latrice knows that pushing the surgery back is not ideal, but it makes the most sense to her right now. Latrice asked Stormy how's everything going on her end. In her world of canvas. Stormy shares that Lala Anthony reached out to her about doing a collaboration, so they decided to move forward. This is Canvas's first celebrity collaboration. Stormy says she took Lala to the fragrance house. She made her own fragrance from scratch. So they're gonna do a pre-release party so that they can get a buzz and get feedback, and then can share the feedback with the internet and social media before they go live, because they're going to do a 48-hour live, y'all. And it already happened, I believe, because this is happening in the summertime. No, this is close to Christmas, or I don't know. I really forgot when they were filming this, but that live was happening in January. Latrice tells Stormy that she is one of the most amazing women that she knows. Everything that she does is inspiring. She says she knows this collaboration with Lala is going to be insane. Stormy says she is excited. Latrice says she know God put Stormy here for a reason, and she can't wait to see what's next for her. She was like, "You better keep soaring." Stormy says she's about to get on the road. They hug, and that was the end of the episode, y'all. Give it up for my girls. Next. Right, I didn't held y'all hostage long enough. I really appreciate y'all rocking with me, though. Really, 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 really do. Let me let my little space come back. So yeah, y'all, thank y'all for rocking with me. That was a good episode to me. Make sure y'all leave me a comment. I'm gonna be in the comments when I drop this. I'm about to drop this in a minute. So I'll be right there in the comments. And if you want to talk with me, you go ahead and do so. Make sure you guys like this video. Make sure you hype my video. Make sure you are subscribed to my channel. And not last, but certainly not least, make sure you become a member of the California Cutiee, but the Cutiee Clique, y'all. Be a member of the Cutiee Clique. I'm telling y'all, my members only are gonna be so bomb, super bomb. So, and before I get out of here, I do want to let y'all know that the Belle Collective has released a new franchise, which is the Belle Collective Birmingham, and Stormy is the face of that one. So she's spearheading that. And when I tell y'all, it was good. Oh, I got my life with them. The girls on there are bosses. Oh, it was, let me cheers to that. When I tell y'all bomb, I had a good time watching that. So I will be coming back to you guys and giving y'all the Belle Collective Birmingham, because Stormy is, like I just told y'all, she's my girl and I like her so much. And so, yeah, y'all, I am going to definitely review them. I was gonna do Rory. I was gonna do Real House of Rhode Island, because that's juicy. But my girl, Barb Meets World, is doing that, and I'm loving that for her. That is a good franchise too. Y'all want to check that out as well. Make sure you guys are following Barb Meets World if y'all looking to watch a review and a recap on Real House of Rhode Island. Make sure y'all catch my girl because she's giving it up. And like I said, it's a good show. So y'all go watch my sis. Okay, Barb Meets World. And then y'all check me and So Deb out when we come back, because I told y'all he is on Glenn like no other. The biggest cheerleader. And so I missed him this week, but I'm sure he'll be back, guys. Okay, so make sure you're following So Deb and Nair. I hope you guys had a great time. I know I did. And make sure I told y'all to subscribe, like the video, hype the video, and make sure you become a member, okay? Join my membership. All right, y'all. I don't get up out of here. I love y'all for real. No, for real. I love y'all. All 600 plus of y'all. Unless, tell a friend, hype me up. Put me in the algorithm so that people can, see what I'm bringing to the table, all right? And I know it's a lot of us, but we all can eat. It's enough for everybody, all right? So thanks for rocking with me, cuties. I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.
So let your hair down, get your life. You must be feeling like this your night. So do your thing, girl.